org. And here on Good Things, we love to encourage you to shop local. Of course, that's something good to do, but also thinking about shopping for goods that are made in the USA. And the Laurel Mercantile Company in Laurel, Mississippi prides themselves on selling products made in the USA. And they have now opened up a new flannel line. And joining us today on Good Things to share a little more are co-founders Jim and Josh. Hey, guys.
What's happening, Rebecca?
Hey, how are you?
I have been looking forward to this conversation for a while because I follow all the things on social media, and the flannels are just gorgeous. But if you
thank you.
If you don't mind, I want to back up a little bit and share just the Laurel Mercantile story, because I'm not sure if we've done that here on Good Things before, and without it, you wouldn't have the flannel.
That's right.
That's right. And I tell you, on a day like today when it's cold, we certainly need these flannels.
That's
so
right.
Finally,
We're both wearing ours right now. Right?
That's true. I think, I've got a family of 4, and 2 of us were wearing flannel today. So half of our family was supporting it in this fall weather. But let's go back to this idea, the dream and the vision, the 3 families. It's Jim, Josh, and then the Napiers. Y'all's families got together and saw that there was an opportunity to resurrect the Laurel Mercantile. So let's go back then. How did this all get started?
Yeah, Rebecca, it was back, I guess, around 2015 that, the show here in Laurel, hometown, was really gaining steam in season 1, and we're filming season 6 right now, so we're super excited about that. That'll air probably starting around January of next year, and we've just back then we really didn't know what we were getting into, from all sides, not just retail operations, but from a standpoint of economic, and community development, and from the show, what it was all going to look like. But we decided that, we really needed to take the opportunity and really take a stand. And there are very few companies across America that had taken a stance on rebuilding rural and small town America. And it was, being in Laurel, town of 18,000, over the last 100 years, we've been able to adapt and change, and different industries been in and out of Laurel, but the economic base has remained strong, and other small towns haven't been able to say that and be that fortunate. And so when we decided to reopen the Laurel Mercantile, which had been open in the early 1900s, we wanted to really do so under the banner of American made, because we know that American made means supporting small town America, because small towns is where the manufacturing is. And if we can, really take that stand to say that we're going to support American made, we're essentially eating our own cooking, because we believe it and we have built businesses off of it. All of us are from small towns that are a part of our group, and obviously Laurel being the center of it for hometown. So it's kind of like we're not gonna show something on TV that we don't really believe in, and so we're just putting our retail where our mouth is.
Which I think the authenticity absolutely bleeds over onto the TV show. And then, too, when you go to visit Laurel, which we encourage everyone to get out and visit your own backyard. And Laurel is part of that. If you haven't taken a trip, you should. And so when you walk into the Laurel Mercantile, I think you get a sense that it's all the same. What you're saying and selling there is what you're saying and selling on the show, and which is also helping to make Laurel thrive in the way that it has in the last several years, thanks in part to the show, but then also to the town stepping up and taking hold of this opportunity and making the best out of it in terms of businesses and, restaurants and all these different sort of things. You had to have the town's buy-in to make such a splash as it has over the last several years. And people have bought into what y'all are doing there. Were y'all surprised at the support of American-made only products?
Yeah, I think that is. This is Josh. That is. It's been pretty surprising. I'd say very exciting, because people naturally connect that making things in America makes America stronger. And so for us to see that outpouring, it's really cool to see. And one thing I was thinking of, even as we were calling, we have people now in Laurel today from from all over the country coming to see. And it's really neat that what they're buying in our stores are oftentimes made in their own small towns. And that's just pretty cool to think about the economic impact of something like that. But, yeah, for us, it's been really amazing to see the outpour of support for what we're doing. It's pretty exciting.
Was it hard at all at first trying to find or source those made in the USA products? I know that sometimes those of us who would like to support, products or services made here in the U.S., that we say, well, it's hard to find it. You don't know how to find it. It's not sort of flashy labeled, like some other things are, or the origin of country is, at least with food. So did y'all have a hard time finding vendors?
Yes. In fact, that's how we kind of started our business. We were, sometimes people come into Mercantiles, particularly early on, and they would look at kind of the hodgepodge of things that we had, because essentially if it was American made, we'd say yes to it in the stores. And so that has been very challenging. And honestly, there are some products it is impossible. There's no longer American manufacturers for them. And so that does make it very difficult. But that's been one of the driving factors about how we make merchandising decisions.
But it was also that difficulty that led to an opportunity in that we manufacture a lot of our own products. So we're by not being able to have a supplier, we learn techniques within our own with production to create new products for our own retail operations. So, we've got the wood shop that you see on TV. It's a working wood shop. So we're producing butcher block cutting boards, rolling pins, butcher block countertops. Now we're opening a new facility that we are really focused on manufacturing countertops for delivery across the country. So, it's been that challenge early on that forced us into thinking outside the box on how we could expand, and in doing so have created lots of jobs right here in Laurel that wouldn't have otherwise have been there because we needed product. And therefore, we kind of, if you will, a new manufacturing side was born right here in Laurel, but also supporting, whenever we can find a supplier and a manufacturer in America, we take a hard look at what they have, and because it's so difficult.
So is that when you're looking on Erin's social media, I think it was her Instagram account, and Ben standing in a large opening, and she's saying something about American made or exciting warehouse, something to come. I can't remember the caption. So is that sort of the breaking news that y'all will be manufacturing? And I say breaking news because I didn't follow up with her Instagram account, so I'm not sure if she shared it or not. But is that what it's sort of going to, is the fact that you'll be manufacturing these countertops there in Laurel?
Well, I don't want to let too much of the cat out of the bag, but I will say that we are expanding our operations and also expanding a lot of our product lines, and so we are excited about that, and we've got some really cool things coming down the pike, and in addition to the things I've mentioned, I'll just say that.
Okay, well, I was thinking, I'm reading between the lines here, piecing it all together, but whatever it is, I think it's just such, good things and so much that I know that Mississippians are going to want to support anything that y'all are doing, especially if it's, coming out of Laurel. And that brings us back to the flannel, which is exactly what got you here on Good Things, is sort of seeing this line of shirts or apparel come through the Laurel Mercantile and be available for everywhere. And it's also made here. So where did the idea of the flannel come from?
I would say, I know you mentioned this was kind of our first line, but actually one of the first products we designed back in 2016 was our flannel line. From day one, we all wanted a good feeling and good, well-designed work shirt that basically the kind of shirt that we wanted to be able to wear, which meant we could wear it during the week to the office, and we could throw it on a Saturday and go work in the yard and still look good doing it, feel good doing it, and build something that would last, so it wouldn't be, something where you buy it and then 3 weeks later you're having to rebuy it. So that was the premise of it early on.
Well, hey, guys, hang on with us. We're going to keep you over the break, and we're going to get the whole flannel story with the Laurel Mercantile coming to you about our conversation with Jim and Josh. They are co-founders, along with Ben and Erin Napier, of the Laurel Mercantile, which I guess I apologize for thinking that the flannel was new, but I can still twist it, guys, and say y'all are dropping a new fall line of your flannel. And it's new to me, so I feel like there's other listening to good things that didn't know that there were flannel options that they could visit Laurel and go and purchase in person there at the store, or I saw where you can also order them online. So it fits the personality of the show quite well as just the personality of the store in Laurel. So flannel makes sense now. Did people gravitate to it? Was it a success at first?
Yeah, actually, well, the first thing we were thinking, we all know what a good-looking shirt should look like, but the details of what actually makes a shirt good looking is very hard to figure out, like literally the size of a flap or the size of a cuff. And so in 2016, we were working through those details, and we were working with a company here in Mississippi. They actually were manufactured in Mississippi first. And so the first line, we sold out every year whenever we do a production run. But since then, we've gotten a lot better at knowing fabrics and knowing the form of a shirt. And now the Mississippi manufacturer has shut down, so they've been made in Texas now for the past, I think, 3 years. And so, but every year the reception is good, and the hardest part is just judging demand each year, But so that was a relief, because when you're making an investment in fabric and sewing, it's good to know that they're going to sell. So.
Well, going back to the Napier's Instagram accounts, which I follow, that's public, so it's all out there. Ben did this beautiful post about maybe a few people being unhappy with the price of the flannel shirts, saying how they were very nice, but they are a higher end product. And he did a great job of sort of explaining, and maybe it was a blog post that he then linked to that he went through and gave his heart in terms of why it's important to still support things made in the U.S. and why sometimes those things do come at a premium price. And you can't compare apples to oranges when you're thinking about manufacturing and, the work environment and where it's made. So where's sort of y'all's stance on that? How do you sort of handle when people just look at the price and go, oh, well, I could go down to the box store and it's half that?
Yeah, it's so difficult. And there's so many different angles to that, one of which is quality. You've got, in an American-made product, you have manufacturing efficiencies that are in place, that have been in place for, in some cases 100 years, that almost guarantee or certainly give the best opportunity to have a long-lasting quality product. And not to mention, there are also work processes that are regulated by the United States government that basically makes it to where someone will receive fair pay and that their working conditions will be safe, and that, things that everybody would just think, well, yeah, of course. And that probably happens everywhere across the world. And that's not the case. The reason that you can get, maybe something similar from all the way from a clothing line to a metal cup to anything that's made overseas that may have once been made in America, the assumption is that it was made in a similar facility with similar ethical standards, and that's not the case 100% of the time. And so you've got an unfair practice, in my opinion, in that people across the country have the ability to make things at a much lower price because they don't have to follow the same rules. And, to see that we are selling a shirt, our retail price for our shirts are right at $90. And it's, yes, that is more expensive than a shirt that you get off the rack. But I'll tell you this, it's going to last longer. It's a better quality shirt. And if we had better margins, we sure would lower the price. We want our shirt. We want everybody to be able to buy our shirt. The problem is that through our cost and the lack of U.S. manufacturing over the years, it's harder to get raw goods. And when you've got a fewer supply and higher demand for fewer supply, the price is going to go up. And so, again, there's multiple facets to why our prices are what they are. but chief among them is that our costs, we have to charge a certain dollar amount to keep our business healthy and in operation so we can continue to sell them. And that's because we have made a commitment to American made. I think this isn't new. I think a lot of companies and manufacturers are understanding the value of being American made, especially right now when there are so many supply issues coming from overseas that, it's becoming a good thing for manufacturers to locate in the United States of America. I believe that that's going to create lower costs of raw goods potentially in the future and lower costs of doing business. At least we hope so. And when that happens, we may adjust our prices because we'll be able to. But as it stands, it's a tough environment out there to manufacture in America. But we're making it and we're doing it, and we've got a great quality product to show for it. It comes back to supporting small towns. Our shirts are made in a small town now. You've got to support American manufacturing because that's the base of economic and community vitality. If people have a good job to go to, they're going to feel good about buying products. It's reciprocating a healthy economy, and we have to, as a country, really change our focus back to supporting each other and supporting our neighbors. And that's our stance on it. It has been from day one.
Well, and I look at it as a customer who sometimes feels hopeless when you see some of the big headlines and all the things that's going on and being able to help. But what I forget is that my dollar matters. And so as a customer, I can choose to seek out those American-made products, and maybe I get one shirt instead of two shirts. But I'm putting my I'm casting a vote with my choice, with my purchase. And if everybody did that, supply demand, I mean, is the foundational equation to business and getting things, to start getting more of those things and to getting them down. So I would say if we keep watching and your shirts start coming down, that means more just buying, and manufacturing in the USA is back to a healthy standard. And it may take time, but we can be a part of that fight by supporting those that are at least trying to provide the things that will make that ball start to roll. We're right here at Christmas. Everybody's talking about you got to get your Christmas gifts ordered now if you want to get them here on time, yada yada yada. And I'm thinking, hey, this is the perfect time maybe to buy one nice shirt versus 3 other shirts, and it have a story behind it, and you can feel good about it, and you can wear it with pride too when you can source it back to who created it. So I think that's great. You can
wear it in a long time too because it's a quality product.
Absolutely. It's the same thing as knowing your farmer with your food from where I come from, right? You enjoy the meal a little bit better when you know the hard-working families that it took to sort of get it to your table. So I want to get your products to people's Christmas trees and under. So where can they go obviously we want them to come and visit Laurel and see all the good things your town has going on Main Street. And I think that would be a great outing one weekend before the holidays. But if they can't, can they order online?
Absolutely, yeah. You can go to laurelmercantile.com and you can check out all of our styles. We've got we have had a lot of success with this year's line, and we've got a few, an extra 3 patterns coming out in the next week, and so kind of a bonus pattern line that we have been working on. So we're excited about that. You'll be able to see all the sizes. We run, Ben's just about 10 feet tall, and he's a big guy. So, of course, we have a huge line of big and tall and all the normal sizes and just every design we have can be found at laurelmercantile.com. And, of course, if you can, come to Laurel and see us at the Laurel Mercantile or the Scotsman General Store. Both locations will have all of our flannels and our products in stock.
Well, I appreciate both of your time. I appreciate what you guys are doing and paving the way, showing others that it can be done, it can be profitable, and it also can give back to their community. So keep on keeping on, guys.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks so much, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Love your show. Appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. And just to let you know, they've got all orders over $99 is free shipping, and there's even a scary discount code for some of their candles. So now would be a good time to go to laurelmercantile.com and shop. Remember, think local, think Mississippi, get out and support and help, grow our local economy. Some of that is just getting in your car and driving to Laurel to visit, or shopping on your main streets when it coming up to this holiday season. These are all small ways we can all do our part to sort of get things back on this side of the ocean, as they would say. I think it would be a good thing to see more manufacturing plants open back up with the new things and being made in America. And yes, you may have to pay a little bit more up front, but like they mentioned, the quality and then knowing that your money is turning right back around and going into your local economies, to me, it's a good thing. But stick with us. We got more for you coming up.